work is focused on the phenomenological investigation of color and its optical invocation of temperature, light, and spatial interplay. My painting process focuses on the perceptual interaction of saturated and subtle and nuanced color relationships, and how the interaction of these embrace this dialogue between object, presence, and phenomena. These color systems, although seemingly so finite, actually are the access to limitless possibility. I have based over 3 decades on focusing my paintings on the simplicity of red-green, blue-orange, and yellow-violet, and it's infinite, the terrain that I explore, and every door opens to new work and different series of paintings. So there's this dialogue between structure and unpredictability and predetermined systems and chance. And so this dialectic of the finite and the infinite play a great role in my philosophical interests and reveal themselves in the paintings in this dialectic between materiality and immateriality, surface and depth, light and space. My investigations and my interests and my awe in painting is that color is so relative to what it is in context with. I like embracing the limitations of what I'm presented with, because I actually see that paradoxically as the access to limitless possibility. The tighter the restrictions, I always find the greater access to what I haven't discovered before. And that is really what the work engages and what I feel the Interplay series really shares with the viewer, that these are all created in this ever-present moment, what Hegel refers to the universality of the here and now. And it's this very vulnerable and powerful place to sort of take a leap and step off the edge and accept that you don't know where you're going, and that you're going to be in this free fall, which is quite uncertain and a little anxiety producing. And yet I have to keep reminding myself that that is always the green light and the access to my best work. If I am not feeling that anxiety of not knowing, then I am not moving forward. That's the dialogue with painting. You have to be so open to see the door to the new work. And I saw that painting, it was revealing how the space was actually very much coming at you powerfully. The structure, it can have the potential to change how these relationships operate. As this dialogue, that it's unpredictable, and that because of the context, different relationships surface. It's when they happen. Yes. And when all the predetermined systems and all the spontaneity of the process, it has this reciprocity and this potential to break down all of it and have the materiality of the painted surface just turn into this optical experience. The rigor and the intensity of these, I mean, the meditation, if you want to call it that, it really comes from this very determined and rigorous place, and being right there to see what is happening and how to make good on it. But they're all painted with loaded wet brushes over the course of time. In these spaces in between color and shape and mark making, the mind was going to complete this. And what they were sharing was this immediacy, this tension, this moment of creation. And it was all this, the relationship between chaos and order. That was all going to be a part of the work. That's what makes it so urgent and feels so fresh and vital. These spatial relationships of the emergence of light, the presence of light, surface and deep space, materiality and immateriality, that these were coming to the forefront. They were becoming much more edgy. And it wasn't until I saw how the pastel medium had its own limitations that was the doorway to get back to painting. I realized that the most dominant aspect of the painting, which appears to be so structural, which are these violet, blue, vibrating strips, edges, is really the most ethereal. And that sort of relates back to my philosophical concerns that, the structure, or that which is most dominant, most present, is actually that which you can't even touch. It's the most ethereal, and it just seems to dissipate. And so these are really important concerns that I bring into the studio with me and readdress every time I work towards a new series of paintings and body of work. What I hope to share with you as the viewer is being in this moment that I'm in when I'm painting. It's this very vital, very current, very explosive moment of discovery. Donald Cuspit writes, Pastine's fascination with contradiction, or the interplay of opposites, the differentiated and the undifferentiated, indicate her dialectical sensibility. As in all good dialectical painting, the uncertainty inherent in the relationships of colors paradoxically generates sense certainty. Play on Hegel's account of sense certainty. Each color mediates the other to make for an overall sense of immediacy. Implicitly negating each other, each becomes explicitly positive in itself. Each color is peculiarly uncertain and indefinite by itself, but becomes self-certain and definite in relationship with the other color. This dialectic of sense certainty is the aesthetic core of Pastine's paintings. The sublime is always necessary.